What's going on, guys? Today I'm back with another hat format replay review for you guys. If you're interested in sending in your hat format replays, you can go down to the video description and find all the information on how to go about sending those in. Anyways, the matchup I have for you today, we have Coca-Cola 9, who is going to be on Frog OTK, or Inferno Reckless Frogs, versus X who is going to be on Mythic Ruler. Hopefully this will be a good match, but without further ado, let's get straight into it. Here, it looks like Coca-Cola 9 will win the rock, paper, scissors and get to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Compulse, Torrential, MST, Dupe Frog, and Swap Frog. And on the other side, we see Dragon Shrine, Maxi, Card Trooper, Redox, and Phoenix Wing Windblast. So a pretty solid hand from both players. Obviously, opening Swap Frog is really good for Coca-Cola here, and they also will get a draw for turn here, getting a copy of Des Frog. So that's actually very strong, given they also have an additional water or aqua for the Swap Frog if they choose to go that route as well. So let's get straight into it and see, though. Again, this Maxi is going to be a little rough depending on how Coca-Cola chooses to play their turn. But here it looks like they actually are going to play it slow, setting the Swap Frog before setting 3 back row over to Meow, who gets a copy of Trade-In. So also just a very good card, especially given Meow does have that copy of Dragon Shrine, meaning they'll have access to Blue Eyes if need be. But here it looks like they're going to start their turn by normal summoning Card Trooper, using the effect to mill 3, hitting a Flamebell Guard, Gold Sark, and an Upstart Goblin. Next, activating the Dragon Shrine, sending a Blue Eyes and a White Stone of Legend. White Stone of Legend will then get them another copy of Blue Eyes here before going and activating that trade-in, discarding the Blue Eyes and drawing it Upstart and Soul Charge. So getting that Soul Charge is very strong here, going Upstart and getting another copy of Dragon Shrine, which is once per turn, unfortunately for Meow here, but it is always great to have extra copies for the next turn. Here it looks like Meow is going to go and use that copy of Soul Charge, going for the Blue Eyes, Flamebell Guard, and the copy of Whitestone. And we are going to see the Torrential activated here, a very big Torrential, and that definitely is not a situation that Meow wants to be in already, of paying 4,000 and not having the most follow-up here. Now here the Dupe Frog will be able to trigger as well as the Whitestone, and here, or not the Whitestone, the, Whitestone would have to trigger here, as well as the Card Trooper drew them into a copy of White Stone of Legend. So in theory, Coca-Cola should be, making sure that they don't have another target, because the White Stone of Legend is a mandatory effect here. And here it looks like they are just going to set the Wing Blast and pass the turn over. Here Coca-Cola gets a copy of Inferno Reckless Summon. So yeah, it looks like they didn't actually catch that. Maybe they had played another match before this, or maybe they know each other and they know their lists a little bit. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, they should have in theory, attempted to search there if they have another target, maybe later on in the game. If, they don't get blown out in this turn, then we'll see if they actually had another copy, especially maybe given they have Dragon Shrine. But moving forward here, it looks like Swap Frog is going to be normal summoned, using its effect to send a copy of Ronin Tonin, then using its effect to bounce itself back to hand, and then here they're going to special summon the Swap Frog by getting rid of Swap Frog from hand and using the effect again to send a copy of Tadpole. I'll quickly go over Swap Frog real quick. I probably should have done that a little bit before, but it says you can special summon this card from your hand by discarding one other water monster. When this card is summoned, you can send one level 2 or lower water aqua monster from your deck or face-up field to the graveyard, and once per turn you can return one monster you control to the hand for cost, and then you can normal summon one frog monster during your main phase this turn, except Swap Frog, in addition to your normal summon or set, and you only gain this effect once per turn. So the send part of the effect is a soft once per turn, the additional summon is a hard once per turn, and then Tadpole doesn't really have a relevant effect. It's more so used because of Des Frog. That says when this card's tribute summon, you can special summon Des Frog frogs from your hand or deck up to the number of Tadpoles in your graveyard. And so here it looks like Ronin Tonin's activated, banishing the Dupe Frog, and then Maxi is going to be chained to that effect, and Meow is going to get a copy of Card Trooper. After that, Des Frog is going to be normal summoned as the additional summon, and it will trigger here, going and summoning another copy of Des Frog. And here we do see that this Wing Blast is really being held out here. They could have probably used it in a couple different scenarios, but here it looks like like they're just kind of letting everything go through, so this could be interesting. And on the special of this Desfrog, it looks like Meow got another copy of Max C. So here we are going to see Coca-Cola going to battle phase and attacking in for some good damage, but here we do see the Wing Blast finally activated, discarding the copy of Redox and stacking that Desfrog, and then here the other Desfrog is going to get in for some good damage, so leaving Meow pretty low in life. And then here it looks like main phase 2, the Swap Frog is going to return itself, and I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, the bounce part of the effect is a soft once per turn, but the additional summon part of this effect you can just keep activating, if I'm not mistaken there. So after bouncing that, it looks like they are just going to pass turn. Here Meow draws a copy of Skill Drain for turn, which it's a great card, don't get me wrong, but when you only have 1,100 life, it's a little risky. And so here we are going to see the Redox activated, banishing 2 and summoning it out in defense before a normal summon of Whitestone is going to occur, and a quick synchro into a copy of Stardust. So here we can probably assume they don't have another copy of Blue Eyes, but let's see real quick, depending on what they send off this shrine, which they're sending a copy of Flameveil Guard and Blaster, so it would be assumed that they're only on 2 copies of Blue Eyes and 2 copies of Whitestone here. They didn't banish one, right? No. So here we are seeing that, and after that, it looks like we are going to see the Blaster activated, banishing 2 and summoning itself out. Here we are going to see Meow go to battle phase, and the Compulse is going to be activated on the Stardust, which is always solid, and the Blaster was able to attack over the copy of Desfrog, going to main phase 2, setting that Skill Drain, and in end phase, it looks like Coca-Cola is going to pop that copy of Skill Drain, and here they draw into the Desfrog, which they already knew because of the Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. Meow is going to activate the Max C right away to desensitize, whatever the word is, basically make so Coca-Cola is less willing to go and actually special summon. And here we are going to see the Swap Frog normal summon, sending a copy of Dupe Frog, and after that, it looks like they are going to banish Dupe Frog to summon a copy of Ronin Tone, and here Meow gets a copy of Cards of Consonance, and after that, the Swap Frog is going to bounce itself, giving them an additional summon again. Here going for the Swap Frog, using the Swap Frog effect, summoning another Swap Frog. Here Meow gets a copy of Dragon Shrine, and then we are going to see a rank 5 going for Volcasaurus, which can clean up that game. So Coca-Cola takes game number 1. Moving into game number 2, Meow will get to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Dupe Frog, Mother Grizzly, Inferno Reckless Summon, Maxi, and Mother Grizzly. And on the other side, we see Cards of Consonance, Wing Blast, Skill Drain, Flameveil Guard, and Soul Charge. So all right hand, like, I don't want to say it's great, but having Cards of Consonance plus Flameveil Guard is at least a way to dig deeper into your deck. Plus, they will get a draw for turn. They already have the Soul Charge. They have the Skill Drain if need be. So let's actually see what they get for turn here. Getting a copy of Blue Eyes, so not really where they want to be, but again, Cards of Consonance will be able to draw them some more cards. You're getting a copy of Dragon Shrine and Skill Drain, so the Dragon Shrine is definitely important here. Going and activating it, sending a Blue Eyes and a copy of Redox here. Let me just double check here. So that is, again, 2 Blue Eyes. And from here, we are going to see a Soul Charge activated, attempting to go for Redox, Blue Eyes, and Flameveil Guard. And Coca-Cola is going to be dropping the Max C on there. I'm assuming that was them targeting what they were going to send. So that, yep, Coca-Cola will get a draw here, getting a copy of Compulse. And again, Meow is going to get a little low in life. I mean, not low, but like paying a good amount before setting double copies of Skill Drain and the Wing Blast. So choosing not to give Coca-Cola extra cards here and playing it a little slow here. Coca-Cola gets a copy of Needle Sealing, which could be bad given that, you know, Meow didn't choose to actually use any of those monsters there. But here we are going to see just Mother Grizzly set and a few back row set. In the end phase, Meow X is going to activate that copy of Skill Drain, draw a Tempest for turn, and go straight into main phase and make a Synchro Stardust, which is a little unfortunate here, though they do have the copy of Compulse, so if anything, they could go for a Compulse on the Stardust, and if Meow X starts kind of comboing off, then they could still have a chance for the Needle Sealing, but there almost would have maybe been a reason to fire this Needle Sealing right away, just to make, if anything, Meow have to use all their resources to summon back out the rulers. But anyways, anyways, here we do see the Wing Blast activated, going after the copy of Dupe Frog by discarding that copy of Blue Eyes. And it was the Blue Eyes, right? Because they used this and this for the Synchro Summon. Yeah, and then the Blue Eyes was discarded. Going into battle phase, and here we are going to see the Compulse bouncing that copy of Stardust, and the Blue Eyes is attacking for 3,000. Main phase 2, we see the Redox going in defense. Here, Coca-Cola gets that Mother Grizzly back in hand, which this time they are again setting it, just passing it back over to Meow, who gets a copy of Crow. Then here we do see them go to battle phase and run into that Mother Grizzly, which this is basically just a classic recruiter card. It says when this card's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one water monster with 1,500 or less attack from your deck in attack position. So here going for a copy of Dupe Frog, and then for turn, they're going to draw a copy of Solemn Warning. They're going to switch the Dupe Frog to defense, set another Mother Grizzly, and set the Warning. Honestly, Skill Drain is a tough card against this deck for sure, or a really good card, I should say, and they aren't really seeing too much. Again, they do have access to this Needle Ceiling now, which is going to be pretty solid, though seeing that Meow just drew a copy of Card Trooper definitely is not the best for them here, in Coca-Cola, I should say, because they will get a draw if they go and summon that. So let's see here. They are going to summon the Card Trooper, and we are going to see the Needle Ceiling on summon, actually. So putting that Gold Sark back, that shouldn't have been milled there. And here, every monster minus this set copy of Mother Grizzly is going to be destroyed. And from here, we do see the Card Trooper triggering, drawing a copy of Gold Sark. They did shuffle, right? I'm pretty sure they shuffled. I don't think they just put that back on top. Let me see if I can actually check the log here. I just want to double check on that. Let's see. Where is it? Card Trooper and return Gold Sark to the top of the deck. Oh, so they actually didn't shuffle there. So that should not have been the draw. Hopefully they catch that. But if not, I mean, I guess in theory, it was sent off this, so that was the top card regardless, actually, so I don't think that's really relevant here. But anyways, we are going to see the Dupe Frog trigger as well, because the last thing to happen was, you know, its destruction in a sense. And so here, I believe, what did they add there? Did they add a copy of the Swap Frog? And then after that, we do see Meow go and activate the Gold Sark, banishing a copy of Blaster before going and using that Blaster to then get a copy of Flamebell Guard. From here, it looks like they are going to use the Redox, banishing Blue Eyes and the Card Trooper to summon it in defense, normal summon the Flamebell Guard, and then synchro into a Stardust. And will we see this warning? We will. So getting rid of that, but Meow still does have resources to actually go and summon this copy of Tempest, which is definitely strong, going to battle phase and running into the Mother Grizzly, which is now going to summon a copy of Ronin Tonin. From here, Coca-Cola gets their own copy of DD Crow. They're going to switch the Ronin Tonin to defense, set a copy of Dupe Frog, and then pass it over to Meow, who gets a Debris Dragon. Now from here, they are going to normal the Debris Dragon and synchro with the Tempest for a copy of Star Eater, use the Tempest to then summon itself out. The Redox will trigger to get a copy of Mythic Tree Dragon, so keeping the resources going, though they are looking a little slim on resources. But, you know, if Coca-Cola can't out this board with the skill drain on board, it's going to be tough for them. So here, going battle phase, running over the Dupe Frog. The Dupe Frog is going to trigger to pick up another copy of Swap Frog, and then running over the copy of Ronin Tonin. From here, Coca-Cola gets a copy of MST, which would be good, but we do know that that second copy of Skill Drain is on board. And here it looks like they are using the Ronin Tonin to banish the Dupe Frog, trying to summon it out, but that is going to be met with DD Crow. Next, we do see Coca-Cola activate that MST, and the second copy of Skill Drain is going to activate there. And let's see here, Coca-Cola is going to discard the Swap Frog to summon the Swap Frog from hand, and then activate Inferno Reckless Summon, which, real quick, this card, let me just see here. Yeah, they're just kind of summoning it here. This is one of the few of the frog cards that isn't going to be counted as like Des Frog or anything like that. And Inferno Reckless Summon says, when exactly one monster with 1,500 or less attack is special summoned to your field while your opponent controls a face-up monster, special summon as many monsters as possible with the same name as the summoned monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard in attack position. Also, your opponent special summons as many monsters as possible with the same name as one of those face-up monsters from their hand, deck, or graveyard. So obviously they can't summon more of these because Tempest is at 1 and Star Eater is an extra deck monster. So here, Coca-Cola is going to be able to summon 2 more Swap Frogs, which these should actually be in attack position, if that is what that said, right? Special summon monster from your hand in attack position. So in theory, these should be in attack position. If anything, they could overlay them into something. Hopefully that won't matter too much, but we will have to see. Keep in mind, though, that that technically is a bit of a misplay there, or not misplay, but not what the card does. So here, Meow does get a copy of Solemn Warning, and now we are seeing the Blaster activated, or returning to hand from the copy of Goldsark. Has it already been 2 turns? That was pretty quick. I guess the first turn is when they synchroed into the Stardust, and then the second turn was the Debris Dragon play. So is that, I'm trying to just take a second to remember if that actually was when that occurred here. Maybe I just missed it. You guys will have to let me know in the comment section if that was the 2 full turns. It felt like it went kind of fast. So anyways, here we are going to see Meow go to battle phase and run over double Swap Frog. And then here Meow is setting that copy of Solemn Warning before passing it over to Coca-Cola, who gets a copy of Duality for turn, activating Duality and revealing double MST and another Duality, here taking that copy of MST, and it's looking a little rough for the Coca-Cola given they don't have much life left. They are going to go and MST the skill drain. Here the Swap Frog is going to activate, bouncing itself to hand, and then normal summoning it again using the effect or trying to summon it, and here the Solemn Warning is actually going to come down and Coca-Cola is just going to scoop it up. Those skill drains definitely put in a lot of work, and luckily there, regardless of if the turns had gone by for that Goldsark, the Blaster didn't even come up there. So anyways, moving on into game number 3, we will see Coca-Cola get to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Duality, Warning, MST, Swap Frog, and Mother Grizzly. And on the other side, we see Blaster, Dragon Shrine, Blue Eyes, Soul Charge, and DD Crow. So definitely good to have that DD Crow when going second. Plus having Dragon Shrine and Soul Charge is definitely not bad at all. And, you know, Coca-Cola's hand isn't bad either. So here they do get a draw for turn, getting a copy of Bottomless. So Bottomless Warning will be very good against the Ruler deck here. And we are going to see Duality activated, revealing, was that Compulse, Duality, and Sea Lancer. Here it looks like they are going to take the copy of Compulse and then set the copy of Mother Grizzly, and 3 back row holding the copy of MST in case, you know, a skill drain comes up. And here we see Meow draw into a copy of Cards of Constance, so their hand is really strong here. Let's see what they can do with it. Activating the Dragon Shrine, sending a Blue Eyes and a copy of, which one was that title? I'm not exactly sure what's going on with the picture there. And here it looks like the title is going to trigger, banishing Blaster and Blue Eyes, summoning that copy of title, and from here Blaster can trigger, as well as it looks like Coca-Cola is going to bottomless the copy of title, making sure they don't have access to that, adding a copy of Flameveil Guard. After that, we will see the Cards of Constance activate, discarding the Flameveil Guard, drawing into Card Trooper and Soul Charge, so definitely not bad at all here. The Card Trooper is summoned, milling 3, and it actually says, it looks like they're thinking for a second there. So yeah, it looks like Coca-Cola's even saying like, hey, wait for responses, because Meow is playing a little fast here, not even giving any response window or even like kind of indicating too much right here, though they did for that effect. But here, yeah, the Card Trooper summon, so maybe they're thinking about going Warning or even just compulsing it, and it looks like they're actually having a little bit of a back and forth there in terms of slow playing and stuff like that. Games like this kind of become a little rough when that happens, and here they are allowing the Card Trooper regardless, and it looks like they milled a, what was that, DD Crow, Goldsark, and a Flameveil Guard here. And after that, it looks like they're just passing turns, so not taking the risk of this, you know, running into a Dupe Frog or anything like that, as well as maybe they use that as like a bluffing measure so that, you know, they didn't try to go into anything. We didn't even see the Soul Charge play, though. There wasn't really anything great to Soul Charge given all the targets kind of got dealt with. So here, Coca-Cola is going to draw for turn, getting a copy of Needle Sealing. They're going to start their turn by normal summoning Swap Frogs, sending a copy of Ronin Tonin, flipping the Mother Grizzly, going to battle phase Mother Grizzly over the Card Trooper. Card Trooper will draw a copy of Dragon Shrine, great draw there, and then the Swap Frog will attack in for 1,000. After that, it looks like main phase 2, the Needle Sealing is going to be set. The Swap Frog is going to use its effect to return itself to hand, and Meow is going to draw for turn, turn, getting a copy of MST, and from here, Dragon Shrine is activated, sending just a copy of Redox here, and then going for a Soul Charge, and it looks like they're going to try to go for Redox Card Trooper and Flamevell Guard, but is that going to be met with the warning there? It is going to be activated, and here the second copy of Soul Charge can be activated because the Solemn Warning says that negate the summon or activation, and if you do destroy it, so the activation was negated here, so actually they are able to go and activate another copy here. So it looks like Scrap Dragon is going to be synchro summoned into using that copy of Redox and Flamevell Guard, but it is going to be met with the Compulse here, and after that, let's see what happens. It looks like Redox is going to use its effect to summon itself, and then we are going to see the MST set, and Coca-Cola is going to draw for turn, I believe, what was that, the Crow, which we're going to see Swap Frog normal summon using the effect, sending a copy of Tadpole, going to battle phase Grizzly over the Card Trooper, and Meow will get a copy of Whitestone. Main phase 2 Swap Frog will return itself, end phase the Redox returns itself, and in end phase, Meow is going to MST that copy of Needle Sealing. After that, Meow draws a copy of Foolish Burial for turn, and they are going to fire that off, sending a copy of Tempest. So now they do they have much? No, they still honestly don't have much resources, and they are going to go for a defensive Redox yet again, banishing that copy of Tempest and Blue Eyes, which the Tempest will then trigger and pick up a copy of Debris Dragon. Now they can normal summon the Whitestone and go for a level 8 Synchro if they choose, which is exactly what they're going to do. Going for a copy of Crimson Blader actually isn't bad here, going and running over the Mother Grizzly. The Crimson Blader will trigger, as well as the Mother Grizzly, summoning a copy of Swap Frog, which will then be able to send a copy of Dupe Frog. After that, we do see the Ronin Tonin drawn for turn, and here it looks like Coca-Cola is going to activate Ronin Tonin, banishing the copy of Dupe Frog, but that is going to be met with the DD Crow. After that, we are going to see Swap Frog special summon from hand by discarding a copy of Ronin Tonin, and from here, they are going to trigger the effect, sending another Dupe Frog, and then here going for the newly sent to graveyard Ronin Tonin by banishing the Dupe Frog, and then using the Swap Frog to bounce itself and additional summon the Swap Frog, which let me just double check here. This says besides Swap Frog. Or actually, was that their normal summon? Because I believe, yeah, the first one was summoned off of Mother Grizzly, and then they special summoned by discarding the Ronin Tonin, and then they bounced and additional summoned, or I guess that would have been, yeah, their normal summon, because that, yeah, okay, so I'm pretty sure that was there. So using the effect again and sending the Dupe Frog, and then here the Swap Frog will return again. Again, I'm pretty sure that they can be just bouncing it as many times. They only gain the additional summon once. Here we are going to see Coca-Cola go and overlay into a copy of Gachi Gentetsu before passing turn to Meow, who gets a copy of MST, and from here we are going to see Debris Dragon summon, bringing back the Card Trooper, but that is going to be met with DD Crow, so trying to bring back the Card Trooper, going to battle phase and attacking in with the Crimson Blader, which will, the Gachi will be able to protect itself here, and then going to main phase 2, setting the copy of MST and passing it over to Coca-Cola, who gets a copy of Duality here. The MSTs are going to trade, and then we will see Duality activated, revealing MST, Max C, and Needle Sealing. Here we do see the Needle Sealing added, which could be a solid turning point here, and the other cards are shuffled back. Swap Frog's going to be normal summoned using the effect and sending a copy of Ronin Tonin. From here, Swap Frog will bounce itself, and we will see the Needle Sealing set. After that, Meow draws into a copy of Skill Drain, which is pretty solid. Crimson Blader again attacks in, getting the last material off of the Gachi, switching the Debris Dragon to defense and setting that copy of Skill Drain over to Coca-Cola, who now gets a copy of Debunk, which feels a little late, but they might be able to still make it work. Here we do see the Ronin Tonin special summoned, and another copy of Ronin Tonin special summoned, going for a copy of Ghostrick Succubus. This card says, while you control another Ghostrick monster, your opponent cannot target this card for attacks. That part's irrelevant, and says once per turn you can detach one material from this card, target one face-up monster on the field with attack less than or equal to the combined attack of all Ghostrick monsters on the field, destroy it, and if you do, that monster card zone cannot be used as long as you control a Ghostrick monster. So here we do see the Debris Dragon getting popped. The Swap Frog is then going to be summoned, sending a copy of Des Frog, banishing the Des Frog for a copy of Ronin Tonin, overlaying for a copy of Succubus, and here we do see the Skill Drain flipped, and then it looks like Coca-Cola is going to set that copy of Debunk, drawing into a copy of Cards of Consonance, going to battle phase and running over the copy of Succubus. The copy of Crimson Blader obviously is not going to trigger because of the skill drain, sending the copy of Cards of Consonance and back over to Coca-Cola, who gets a copy of Swap Frog, switching the Succubus to defense, over to Meow, who gets a copy of Trade-In, going battle phase, clearing that copy of Gotchi, and Coca-Cola here draws a copy of Inferno Reckless Summon, again back over to Meow, who gets a copy of Card Trooper. And let's see, in main phase, they're taking a second to think. They are going to use the Redox Banishing too, but that is going to get met with the Debunk, so the Redox will get banished here. The Crimson Blader can clear the Succubus, and after that, Coca-Cola is going to get a copy of Sea Lancer as their draw. Pretty cool to see. Here we are going to see the Ronin Tonin summoned by banishing the Swap Frog and chaining the copy of Inferno Reckless Summon to summon another copy of Ronin Tonin here. After that, setting the copy of Swap Frog, so really just walling up, though we do know this Needle Ceiling is trying to just clear here, and passing it over to Meow, who gets a copy of Mythic Tree Dragon for turn, normal summoning Card Trooper, going to battle phase, and the Crimson Blader is attacking over the copy of Ronin Tonin, and then Needle Ceiling is going to be activated after that. The Card Trooper will draw Meow a copy of Solemn Warning, which unfortunately isn't great for them because they only have 2,000 life. They will set it, and over to Coca-Cola, who now gets a copy of Trap Stun. That probably would have been good a little while ago, but here flipping up the copy of Swap Frog and attacking in for 1,000 damage using the effect and bouncing itself. Keep in mind this does bounce itself for cost again, so under skill drain it will still be able to do that, and passing it over to Meow, who gets another copy of skill drain, so not really great here, just setting the Mythic Tree Dragon and passing, and yeah, they really don't have anything to do here. Here Coca-Cola gets a copy of Duality, and we are going to see it triggered, revealing Torrential, Inferno Reckless Summon, and Trap Stun, grabbing that copy of Torrential and putting the others back. And after that, we are going to see the Torrential set and back over to Meow, who now gets a copy of Wing Blast, so kind of building up a little bit of defense now, setting that over to Coca-Cola, who gets that Inferno Reckless Summon. Here setting the copy of Swap Frog over to Meow, who gets a Trade-In, back over to Coca-Cola, who gets a Max C, and here we are going to see the Swap Frog flip summoned, and then the Torrential chain to that, and after that, Trap Stun is going to be activated, and it looks like from there, Meow is just going to leave and basically scoop it up because the Ronins could be summoned at that point, and that, you know, they have enough, or can they actually, let me see this, they have to, what did they, oh, I guess they had enough for one, and at that point, oh, but they had no monster, so they can't go for that, but they contribute for the Lancer Frog if need be, so the Lancer Frog would just kind of clear, though I don't think Meow really knew that at the time as far as we know, because this wasn't searched or anything, so very interesting game, kind of, I don't know how I feel about it necessarily. Hopefully you guys enjoyed regardless. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it, comment any questions or videos you want to see in the future, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notified anytime I put a new video out, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to go down to the video description to find out how you can send in your hat format replays, whether you won or lost. If you thought the deck you or your opponent was playing was pretty cool, feel free to send it in. I'm sure a lot of people would love to see it. But anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video.